is Gwen Wong, and I'm a curator and member of the AlzSwan team on AlzForum. Today, I'm going to show you how to navigate around AlzSwan and show you some of the ways that you can find interesting content on the AlzSwan knowledge base. In this first tutorial, I'm going to show you, first of all, how to find AlzSwan from AlzForum, and then show you what AlzSwan contains and what's featured on the AlzSwan homepage. So let's start with how to find AlzSwan from the AlzForum homepage. Here's the homepage of AlzForum, a very familiar page to many of you. And on the left-hand bar, you can see under Research, AD Hypotheses, and under AD Hypotheses, the SWAN knowledge base. If you click on that, it brings you to an introductory page that describes the AlzSwan knowledge base and allows you to go directly to the AlzSwan knowledge base by clicking on the bold title as shown up here, underlined with the green arrow. And it also points you to a PowerPoint tutorial that we have downloaded onto the website that will reiterate many of the topics discussed in the video tutorial. Okay, so let's click on this, and it brings us to the AlzSwan homepage. I'm going to talk to you today in this short video tutorial about basically three topics. The first topic is the contents of this horizontal navigation bar. The second topic will be the horizontal featured contributions bar. And finally, the last topic in this video tutorial will be about the hot topics. Okay. So in the horizontal navigation bar that runs along the top of every AlzSwan homepage, every AlzSwan page, the home button always will return you to this page. Now, the AlzSwan knowledge base is itself a library of statements, and you can see the breakdown of these statements in this bottom right-hand corner, where we identify the different types and the numbers of statements that are contained in the knowledge base. And the statistics in this lower right-hand corner is updated every time new content is imported into the website. Now, you can identify the different types of statements by going to the second tab of the top horizontal navigation bar. And if you click on statements, the very first one, you'll get the total library of statements, which includes the hypotheses, the claims, the research questions, and the comments. If you click on the hypotheses, then you will go specifically to just the number of statements which are hypotheses. Currently, we have 173 hypotheses, and of which 48 have extended annotation and 125 are simply annotated. Well, what does that mean? That means that a hypothesis with extended annotation has been broken down into claims, into individual research findings or scientific assertions, that there are citations that are associated with this hypothesis, and that each claim has citations associated with them, and that some of the claims may have discourse relationships, either consistent, inconsistent, or alternative to other discourse that is contained in the AlzSwan knowledge base. Claims are the building blocks of hypotheses, and it is to the claim that each of these different annotations are associated. So, for example, if a hypothesis cites various genes or proteins, it will be the individual claims that cite specific genes or proteins. The third type of statement that's contained in the Alzheimer knowledge base is the research question. There are two sources of research questions. Many are proposed by a hypothesis author as part of the hypothesis that is looking towards the future as a suggested next step or a proposed future experiment. A second source of questions are comments. Comments are, well, there's three different types of sources for comments. You, the reader, can submit a comment directly to AlzSwan, and I'll show you how to do that in detail in the video tutorial focused on hypotheses and claims. Secondly, some comments we have curated from the AlzForum comments that have been written by experts in the field on either in response to news or primary articles. And thirdly, some comments in this database are written by the hypotheses authors themselves as updates to older hypotheses to make them up to date and turn a static document of a published article into a living document. Now, after the Statements tab is the Genes and Proteins page. The Gene and Proteins is a whole section of the AlzSwan knowledge base that represents a database of genes and proteins that's searchable, browsable, and filterable. And finally, the evidence maps. The evidence maps is the last tab on the horizontal navigation bar that I'm going to describe to you really briefly. The evidence maps provides you, at a glance, a list of the hypotheses along the left-hand side that is in SWAN that's either rank ordered by how many claims are supported by evidence, or going to a different page, how many have claims that have consistent statement links or inconsistent statement links. The evidence maps provides a snapshot view of validation, agreement or disagreement, and relatedness to other discourse in AlzSwan. The evidence maps tables also show the breakdown of each hypothesis by the stage of disease progression that the claims, the individual claims, discuss. The AlzSwan curators have tagged each individual claim in the knowledge base with a stage of AD that is the claim's focus. And this ranges from pre-disease normal physiology all the way to full-blown Alzheimer's disease. I encourage you to explore the evidence maps further. Now, I'm going to return now to the home page, and I'm going to talk to you now about the second topic of this video tutorial, the Featured Contributions bar. The Featured Contributions bar is a banner that we update every time new content has been entered into the AlzSwan knowledge base. Whatever is on the leftmost side of the Featured Contributions bar is the most recently added content. Now, you can scroll along this bar using this bottom right corner arrow, and then by doing so, you will see previously added, recently featured content. Some of these will be hypotheses curated from published articles. Others will be hypotheses that we've curated from AlzForum, such as Suzanne Kraft's insulin resistance hypothesis, which we curated from an AlzForum live discussion late in 2009. And then finally, other featured contributions that we feature on the Featured Contributions bar are comments that have been submitted to AlzSwan that are in response to previously presented hypotheses content. So you can browse what's new in AlzSwan by clicking along the Featured Contributions bar. The last topic of this video tutorial is the hot topics, which is found in the bottom left corner of the AlzSwan homepage. We've broken the total list of 173 hypotheses in AlzSwan into discrete topics that are active areas of research in AD currently. Selecting and clicking on one, such as the amyloid hypothesis, which is the very first hot topic. And what you'll see is that you have now filtered down to 7 hypotheses from the original 173. This subset identifies variations on the theme of the hot topic, the amyloid hypothesis, starting with the very earliest that we have curated in 1992, the amyloid cascade hypothesis, the Hardy and Higgins publication. More recently, the Hardy-Selko 2002 amyloid hypothesis, and then even most recently, a critical reappraisal of the amyloid hypothesis that was published in the summer of 2009. Okay, well, I've covered for you now the various three large topics that the horizontal navigation bar, the featured contributions bar, and the hot topics that are found on the AlzSwan homepage. And I hope you found this introduction to AlzSwan helpful. Please come to visit the AlzSwan knowledge base whenever you come to AlzForum. Take a look at what's new and explore the database.